Alright, hey guys, the timer was changed, battery died seconds before the video went on. Not going to sugarcoat anything. We have a big storm right about to move into Daytona Beach right now. And the time it took for me to go on to the Weather Center, get into everything going here to get everything set up. The storm has since it formed a little further back, very quickly dropped at least golf ball size hail here in DeLand Springs and North DeLand. Moved through some fields here, and now we're moving into Daytona Beach right now. We have very large hail moving in right now. You can see a hail spike right in here. This only shows up when there's very large hail in the storms. You can see the CC value is very low, bottoming out as it spikes northward, and a lot of the reflectivity, very pink. It looks like it's a very strong storm right now moving into Daytona Beach. This is currently happening. Very large hail, at least golf ball size hail, likely larger than that. Upwards of probably, let's see, probably 2-inch hail to probably up to tennis ball size hail. It is a north split as well. North split storms tend to go high on the hail count. Okay, man, holy crap, this thing is hauling. Okay. We had a couple frames update all in a row there. So here we go. Here's the storm moving through Daytona Beach right now. The northern sections of Daytona Beach across Holly Hill. Everywhere here in the pink area, especially in the northernmost sections, right along roads such as US Route 1, the intersection with 15th Street. You're seeing very large hail right now. Anywhere, pretty much right from downtown Daytona Beach points north to just south of Ormond Beach, you're getting hit with large hail right now. A very fast-moving storm. With just a couple minutes ago, it was just outside Daytona Beach. They're getting impacted right now with large hail, upwards over golf ball size hail. I'm thinking probably we might be closing in on a tennis ball size hail with this storm. Huh? Okay, we sent it for tennis balls. I would not be shocked if this is the storm that has the really big hail for the day. We're trying to wait and see if we can get some kind of confirmation. With that, you can still see the hail you still see that hail spike just off to the north. You see the reflectivities and this little jump right here. That is one of the most classic signatures for showing how if there is large hail in a storm, and that gives it a very, okay. You can also see here this, I'm in the way. This thing called the ZDR, when it bottoms out into the gray like this also means there's a lot of hail in the storm as well as we move forward here. So it's hailing everywhere in the pink. Large hail is falling right now. It is right now in Daytona Beach. If you're joining us, we jumped on just a couple minutes ago, and we've been covering storms pretty much all day. Yeah, man. And okay, this is another thing we have here, the KDP. When there is not a lot of the really bright colors, it usually means large hail. Very large hail is involved with minimal melting as the storms are falling and minimal rain. So there's probably a lot of hail falling. And storm already is moving off the coast in the Daytona Beach area. So this is out here is the little barrier island section where all the beaches are on Daytona Beach. So it's hailing on the beach right now. Hopefully people were able to prepare for this and they weren't just hanging out on the beach as that storm is moving through. Again, history of dropping at least golf ball size hail. All right. Ray says, Daytona Beach, large hail, rush hour, giggity. Yes. And for those of you wondering, this quarter report was actually a storm that was slightly earlier. It wasn't even severe warned. You can show it to you right here. Move through pretty quickly. Just some quarter-size hail out of that. And then this storm is a separate storm. Man, the spike was here right as it was moving into Daytona Beach. It must have had very large hail. 2-inch report already here. So 2-inch report already coming in. First report of the storm. Transpired 2-inch hail in Daytona Beach. I'm willing to bet that there's going to be a larger report out of this. I'm almost banking on the fact that there will be a baseball report somewhere, especially on the western sides of Daytona Beach, so closer to the interstate. I think that's Interstate 95. Yeah, so closer to I-95 you are, the better chance of probably close to baseball-sized hail fell. Storm is really going to town. You're probably seeing baseballs dropping into the Atlantic Ocean now. This storm rocketed off the coast. So, again, this was a north split storm. We're going to roll the radar back here. You see this storm back by Altoona wasn't really anything. It kind of split away from the main storm. Main storm kind of died. It takes off. Got to God, I can't even say it. Leon Springs. Yeah, I said already. With golf ball size hail. So it went from not even warned to golf ball size hail in a matter of like 2 or 3 minutes. Exploded over this area of just very little population. Started dropping very large hail. Moved into Daytona Beach, west sides of Daytona Beach. So across I-95, probably with very large hail. Moved through Daytona Beach and then went all the way up, pretty much from downtown up through the area. What was this report here? We got quarter size hail, of course. Initial quarter report, I bet this was like right when the storm started too, from this chaser. So far, 2-inch report has come in, measured 2-inch report from a train spotter in Daytona Beach. We'll see what reports come in after that. The majority of the hail is now moving off the coast. So right on the beach, right in here, right by Holly Hill, you're probably seeing hail at the beach and going into the water now. De Leon. De Leon. Okay, De Leon, thank you. Wonder if that stretch of all the dealers got hit. I do not know where all the dealers are. Doing Mark Hailstar is a nationwide company. All right, guys. So another 2-inch report's coming. All right. So 2-inch report in Holly Hill. So it looks like we saw probably, I'm willing to bet we probably saw pretty high volumes of large hail. And again, I'm expecting a larger hail report to come in. When just from working here and seeing hail reports as they come in from storms happening, when they come in initially as large hail, just right out the gate, 2-inch golf ball size hail right out the gate, that usually when the storm looks like what this storm looked like, it usually has larger hail reports to follow after that. So we're just going to kind of have to wait and see what we're going to get here. This is going to be added to the Orlando and Jacksonville storm map that we've done so far today. So if you've already purchased that map or you're already viewing the map, don't worry. This is going to be added to it, and this is probably going to bump up our star level of this storm for the day here. All right. So, yes, that was fast. This moved very quickly. These north split storms like this are notorious for being quick movers, hitting hard, big time hail, moving out. So, again, I'm going to roll the radar back. I'm going to show you guys. Did you get that picture? Oh, come on. Rolling the radar back here. We're showing you guys this is De Leon Springs. Had golf ball size hail hit there, probably on the north sides of right up in here. Golf ball size hail happened here. Storm exploded, moved through the northeast through a very rural area, and then quickly moved into Daytona Beach and dropped very large hail. Already 2 reports, measured reports of 2-inch hail. And again, would not be surprised if we saw some larger reports, upwards of tennis ball size hail coming in. Storm has since moved off the coast into the Atlantic Ocean. It's a problem for fish now. And just some showers and storms now moving through just Daytona Beach currently. And that is, oh, okay. All right. And I can't discredit this other storm that I was watching a little bit earlier that's further to the south. So storm in Daytona Beach has happened, has moved through. It has since moved off into the ocean, so there's nothing to really report on that. It's just out in the Atlantic now, moving out. Not a problem for anyone else. Daytona Beach, you should be pretty much done now, as this other storm is going to be dying out. Newest reports of 1-inch or slightly larger hail intersection of Jimmy Ann Drive and LPGA Boulevard. Again, probably more reports are probably going to keep streaming in as we move through. And with that, I'm going to focus my attention now further to the south. We have another storm that has been ongoing. It's in a pretty rural area right now, but it's looking pretty good and looking like it's maintaining its dominance here. It went through Sebring with probably some quarter-size hail. It's now to the west of Fort Drum, and look where it's heading. It's heading off, of course, to just north of Port St. Lucie, over by Vero Beach, South Beach, St. Lucie, Fort Pierce. All these areas at risk for this storm that is now off to the west, that is moving in this general direction, pretty much slowly moving to the due west here. With this hail is probably not going to be as intense as the hail that just moved through the Daytona Beach area, but we are still watching for this to come through. Once we get through some swamplands here and farmland, we're going to eventually hit, again, very densely populated area. If you're from Florida, you know that east coast of Florida, lots of people right up against the water. So it doesn't take much for this hail, for this storm to impact a lot of people. All right, let me look on Earth here. Anything else going on? Elsewhere, there are not really everywhere else. There aren't really a whole lot of storms going on right now. We just had the one storm. I jumped on here as fast as I could to get to covering the Daytona Beach storm before it actually impacted the city. And let's see, we'll get back on the radar here. Now we have this storm. It's in Okeechobee County. And it's over a pretty rural area. I'm going to actually load the roads here. 93. So you guys can see the roads, see if there's any little towns in here. I'm pretty sure Florida seems to either be a ton of people or no people at all. So would not be surprised. Yeah, this isn't hitting anybody right now. But again, we'll be watching this. It was previously been tornado warned. It's warned for half dollar size hail, but the way the marker is, the way the storms look, it's one of those high precipitation storms with a lot of wind and probably a solid amount of hail. You can see the CC values here are pretty low right along the edge of the storm. And we'll be watching this. I think I'm going to wrap things up. If anybody wants me to answer any questions, I know I got in here really fast. Storm happened really fast and moved out, so if by the time you guys got on here and saw what we were talking about, you might have missed it. So if you want me to go over it, I will gladly go over it again. But basic summary is Daytona Beach just got rocked with a bunch of hail, a very fast moving storm through Daytona Beach and the Ormond Beach area, all the way back to De Leon Springs, North DeLand area. So again, this will be added to the map that we already have for the Orlando area today, for the Jacksonville area today, and it'll just keep compounding. Any other storms that keep happening in Florida, we're just going to keep adding and adding and adding as the evening wears on here. The risk for storms is not over yet. It's over for Orlando, but places like, hang on, let me just bring up Earth instead here. There we go. So north of, say, this line right here, from about Tampa up through now Daytona Beach. I think Daytona Beach, you're done as well. That storm happened. So basically right along this highway here that goes through Orlando, that connects Daytona Beach to Tampa, anywhere from that highway points north, you're done in Florida now. It's all south of there. We're watching this storm here north of Port St. Lucie. That'll be moving to the east. We'll see what that ends up doing. And we saw more storms off the coast. We have this storm off the coast. It may move in somewhere between Cape Coral and Naples. We'll have to watch that. And I think by the time it moves in, it's really going to be right in here. We'll have to watch carefully. I do not think these storms will make it to the Miami, Fort Lauderdale area and West Palm Beach. Anywhere in here, I think you guys aren't going to see any hail today unless one of these storms goes absolutely to town and manages to hold themselves through the Everglades. So once the sun goes down, the sun's going to go down a little sooner than later, and that's going to kill a lot of the instability for these storms, a lot of the driving factor for these storms to really keep themselves going. So really, we're going to be watching, the big thing we're going to be watching is the storm here off in the ocean. in the Gulf of Mexico, somewhere between Cape Coral and Naples, is going to see the effects of this and what it's going to have to bring. We're going to just kind of wait for it to move through and get a little closer, and we can see how big of the hail that can be. So there's already video of the Daytona Beach hail on YouTube. What is that?
It's not pretty. It's too.
Yeah, it's pretty good hail there. So somebody go on the stream and bring up that Rob McDowell sent a link to a video from the Daytona Beach storm. I'm curious to see what that looks like. Can I click on that on mine? I can. I don't think I can. Come on. Alright, I wonder where in Daytona that is. We'll have to really pinpoint the exact area where the biggest hail is, but it looks like this video had quite a bit of hail in County. This had quite a bit of quarter-sized hail in it, but we'll have to wait and see where the biggest hail was in that one. There's always a swath, obviously a swath of hail of where the biggest hail was. I don't know where in Daytona that video was, and again, our map will be on there to give you guys more details. There was another storm north of Charleston. This one is still severe warned, but I think is getting away from where there's population. All the population's over in this area here. This storm is just rocketing up to the north into more rural sections of South Carolina. And also we're watching this storm to the west of Fort Drum. This will eventually get towards Fort Pierce and Vero Beach and everything. And I think with that, we'll probably wrap up our coverage pretty quick here, so we can see what this is going to do. Just give one last check in on it. Right now, yeah, it's still a ways away from population, so if anything does happen, we'll jump back on. But in the meantime, guys, just that storm happened in Daytona Beach. We had up to 2-inch hail confirmed. I would not be surprised if I find some video or some picture of some bigger hail that's mixed in there, and then as added to the map that we already have today for Orlando and for Jacksonville. Quite a bit of hail in Florida today. So again, for Florida, it's a little different than like out in the plains where you got this crazy destructive hail. You guys tend to just see hail at all, and it's a pretty big deal. So with that, I'm going to wrap things up, guys. As always, subscribe to us, follow our Facebook page. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us, and any of the information that I'm going to show up on the screen right now. Give us a call, email us, or visit our website and message us through there. We'll be happy to answer any questions you guys may have. We'll be here until the storms wind down today. Lead meteorologist John Choquette. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Tuesday if I don't see you the rest of today. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.